right, so Dave, what are we doing now?
We're going to swap out the lower control arms on this little grocery getter here.
Okay, so when we do this, well, we're going to stand back and spectate for the most part. I'm not going to lie about it.
Got to have my guys do something.
Exactly. They're getting paid to do nothing, so let's get them doing something. What's the trick? Is there something we're not supposed to do? I mean, I know it's got the anti-roll bar on it now, but we don't, do you want to jack it up from the side? And the reason why I'm saying this is because there are guys out there who don't know.
Right. No, whenever you have an anti-roll bar on the car, or whenever the suspension is already set up, you don't want to jack the car up from the side. It will upset the suspension and everything will have to be readjusted.
Got you.
But we are going to readjust this all before we take it for our test drives to see how the parts work.
Make sure it's all in there.
Always jack it up from the front or the rear, never the side. It'll side load the suspension parts. It can damage them. It can bind it. So you don't want to do that. You always want to jack from either the front or the rear.
Got it. Now, this car has history from what you were telling me. I want to know a little bit more about the history of this car before we go any further, because I'm curious now.
This car was the fastest magazine project car ever.
Really?
Dr. Jamie Meyer owned it. It's called Project Mondo Stocker. In the late 90s, early 2000s, the build-up progression of this car from a stock grocery getter to a super street outlaw car. I mean, they found the limits of the stock block, blew up a stock block, put a real stout, A4 in it and a stroker kit, Vortex supercharger, and the car was actually campaigned in Super Street Outlaw. And we're not going to say any times because I'm going to grudge race the car. We'll make the people look it up.
Got you. So the car's got some serious history to it.
It's definitely got some serious history, and as you'll see when we pull the lower control arms off, the date of manufacture's on them, and I believe it was like February of 1999.
Right. Okay.
So it's some old school stuff on there, but we're giving it a new school ride. Drop it down, Frank.
I got it. You ready?
Yep. Drop down enough to
All right, give me the lowdown on these springs.
All right, this is an Eibach drag launch spring, and basically it's designed for a car that's like a 12 or a 13 second street car. And these were made, this was made before the anti-roll bars were really prevalent in these cars.
Right.
The right rear spring, this one, has a different rate than the left rear spring to basically stop body roll on launch.
Right.
But now, as fast as these cars are now, you want to keep the same rate spring so that as you're going down track, you're not applying more pressure to the left and the rear, causing it, the left or the right, causing it to drive one way or another. We went back to the old trusty stock spring. It works great. You cut one coil out of it, bam.
No way.
Gets you the right ride height. It'll lower the car down to get a good ride height. And a high mile V8 spring with a little bit of wear on it is just about the perfect rate.
You're kidding.
No, we've done it on hundreds of cars. It works great. People call me all the time, what springs do I buy? Don't.
I would have never guessed that.
Put our suspension in, cut one coil off the top, and let it eat.
Now, it's easiest when you're doing this kind of stuff in your driveway to do one side at a time. And the reason why I say that is, the rear end's already centered up. We know that because we measured it, we made sure it was square. This way, you do one side, you drop it down, you take the spring out, the rear end doesn't go moving around. It's not all over the place, you're not chasing it. So it makes life really good. Next step is measure it from center to center. That way we can take the adjustable bars and get them to the right length, and then we're styling. Justin, hit it, man. Let's see what we got.
17 and 3/4.
3/4.
Hold it for me.
17 3/4.
Yeah.
So we know that the center to center on our old bar, which was made in 1999?
1999.
1999. We know that it's 17.
Already like it's 1999.
We know it's 17 and 3/4 inches from center to center. We'll take the adjustable bar, get it to the same length, and then it should go right in. Then we move to the other side. You good with that?
I'm good with that.
All right.
The reason we make an adjustable bar too is that different height tires, you know, people are going to the 275s, which are a little shorter than a 28. People running 325s and 315s. You can adjust the wheel location and the wheel opening. That's why we make an adjustable here. You know, the biggest tire you're going to fit on there is a 28 10.5. If you put a smaller tire on, it's going to look funky in the wheel well. You can't adjust it around.
Well, actually, when you think about it, in 99, I think the biggest wheel you could get was a 17, right?
Yeah.
So wheels weren't, I mean, let's face it, the growth of the automotive industry with the wheels and tire combinations they have now, and drag radials didn't exist in 99, did they?
No, no.
So it's a whole different animal now.
Yep.
So that, you know, this bar for its day was good.
So yeah, this was the stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Yep.